Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And I want to talk about Sovereign today, and also the other thing that I do for people at the moment, which I've just opened, called Live Fully Now. Because I've had questions about, you haven't talked about what's in the course, and I want to explain that Sovereign is a program that I've put together through years and years and years of, like, not just my own healing, but I was a coach to some really big leaders, right? So I've integrated what I've known about manifestation, coaching, and the missing link in my life, right, which blocked all of my personal development and growth, which was understanding how to release trauma, right? And what narcissistic abuse actually does to our psyche, our energetic field, and our emotional bodies, right? So sovereignty is the antidote. When you understand, and it's a system I give you that you can repeat and use and embody, and not only does it heal the traumas, right? You don't have to be narcissistically abused to use this process. In fact, it is the foundational piece to make manifestation work for you, right? So if you're blocked in manifestations, there's trauma. That's what I understood. Trauma was the missing piece, the thing I couldn't understand. Why could some people manifest and other people couldn't? And also why, after these cycles of narcissistic abuse, were things not working in my life, right? So Sovereign is about consciousness elevation, being your most authentic and abundant self. That's what this course is about. It's not about giving you information which is widely available on narcissists. It's about how do you claim your sovereignty and operate in the world in an energetically resilient way, which means when you've got a strong energy field, by the way, it doesn't matter what comes up against you, right? You're resilient. When you've got a weak energy field, then it's easy for people to come in and break you down, which is what narcissists do, right? So I'll go through what's in the course. It's now available from now on, self-study. You get supported in there. It's a very unique experience. I'm about transformation. There is nothing else I know on the market as powerful as what I do and as comprehensive. But I'm not saying I've done every course, I haven't. But I know the transformation that comes out of my work is complete, because I work energetically, consciously and subconsciously, right? And the price is like, what, a couple of sessions of therapy, right? I question myself on that all the time, but I feel like it makes it accessible. And I know some of you will say, well, I haven't got $555, and I promise you I found that kind of money and more when I was in absolute poverty. So I understand that feels real, and it could be where you are, but when you're ready to make a choice, you're ready to make a choice, and you'll usually find a way. There's many people that have manifested the money to come in, because when you say, I'm ready for this, things open up, and we have to put our resources into our healing. You know, so many healers come to me and say, well, you know, I won't invest in my own healing. And I'm like, well, it doesn't mean people won't invest in you, but how can you be an energetic match in the universe to people investing in you when you're not willing to invest in yourself? I'm not saying you have to buy my program, but I am saying that something happens in the universe when you put yourself first, you prioritize yourself, and you have to do the work in this course, but it's not a lot of work. You do have to apply yourself to it. Anyway, so let's go through the modules. So in the foundation, there's energetic works. There's a process I give you that's very simple. There's a couple of versions of it that helps you process emotions. So the problem with trauma is that most people are going to therapy trying to outthink trauma. That doesn't work, because it's stored in the body and the emotions and the energy field. So we have to clear it there. And when you do that, it's very fast. So there's a very quick, really quick to use process I teach you when your emotions are getting intense. You don't have to be going through PTSD to use it, but it still works wherever you are, right? In order to, when you're having a lot of like emotional blocks, when you're ruminating, when you're going over things, when there's blocks in your life, right? You use the sequence I teach you and the way I teach you to use it in order to clear that and to strengthen your field. I give you a chakra balancing activation. I give you a soul reclamation energy activation, a third eye activation. All in that foundation, and those tools are things that you can use over and over again, right, throughout the course and just in your general life. The first module of Sovereign is called Self-Focused. And that training is really teaching you how to be self-focused, aware of yourself. So many of us are taught to abandon ourselves. Definitely in narcissistic abuse, but also just generally in society, that we're not really aware of our body wisdom. We're not really aware of how we're feeling. So I train you on self-awareness, right? As part of that, I also teach you how to come from an energy of authenticity rather than fear, obligation or guilt, which is what most of us do and gets us in traps, really not manifesting or living our best lives, doing things that we don't really want to do, not sure how to communicate with people, doing things in icky energy, which makes us an energetic match to manipulation, to not fulfilling our true lives, to not getting things really that suit our authentic self. You see, we've got to be in our authentic power to be an energetic match to our authentic lives. If you want to make money being yourself, doing what you love, then you've got to be very authentic. And so I give you the tools to do that. The third module is called Self-Partnered Sovereign Power. And I teach you about self-sourcing, which is beyond regulating your nervous system. You know, I've seen narcissistic abuse recovery coaches talking about how they just regulate. I don't want a life where I've got to manage symptoms and fucking regulate all the time. That's rubbish. I want to know how to do it when I need to, but I want to live my best life. And that means I'm not interested in being in toxic situations that I've got to constantly do so much work on all the time because I have to regulate, because they unbalance me. What I want to do is be a creator of my own reality where I can regulate things that are tricky. But beyond that, I'm more focused on receiving an abundant, authentic, loving, connected life. So I teach you many things in that module about being in your sovereign power, which includes understanding true connection, right? Because we actually want to connect with the universe. We want to connect with each other. We want to connect with our hearts. So there's lots of things in that. And we start looking at boundaries and standards and connection and what I call consent, which is a principle that will change your life. So there's energy clearings and activations in there too to help you move it. Module 3 is heart healing. We've got broken hearts, right? Narcissistically abused or not, we've been let down by life, a lot of us disappointed. So part of becoming sovereign is to clear that. I do some very powerful healings with you and a child. I do some forgiveness, grief work, guilt, shame, activation, but it's not heavy. In my work, it's aimed to expand you. It doesn't re-traumatize you, and I actually help you clear it out. A lot of people say it's like having some kind of energy surgery where the stuff that was there just isn't there anymore and you get to flow. But it's all about unconditional love. It's about healing the heart. Module 4 is heart connection, deep trauma release, and kind of a heart opening, which is going to enable you to be in integrity and have authentic connections in your life, right? So all about, again, heart opening, inner child healing, emotional intelligence, forgiveness and letting go of the past, coding for safety in the world, because we need to experience safety energetically in our bodies to be an energetic match to it. That's all about that. All heart chakra. Module 5, which I love, but we only do it when we've got a strong foundation, because it's the key to manifestation foundation. But we need to do the sequence that I teach you is so important. You've got to have a strong foundation to be a strong manifester. So module, well, it's going to be 6 now, is boundaries, values and standards. And I really teach you about being in integrity with that, what it looks like. So for example, a boundary in my relationship could be, you know, monogamy. So I will end the relationship. Boundaries should be deal breakers. They're not threats. There shouldn't be things that you have to explain. There should be things that we communicate, that we're all clear on, right? And it is basically what would end a relationship. But a standard would look like, well, my boundary is monogamy. So if you are intimate with someone else, then, you know, I leave the relationship. But a standard could be something like, you know, we don't meet up with opposite sex partners without each other, for example. I'm not saying it has to be that stringent, it just has to be true to you. But whatever the standards are that make you feel safe, that feel aligned with you, understanding the difference, right? So that we don't get to the deal breaker, but we've got standards that we communicate and that we're working towards. We know our values, we live by our values. This is so key to living an authentic life. I teach you about confidence in that module, and I teach you about true connection and how to create it. There's a throat chakra activation as well in the energy work. and module 7, which is all about manifestation, creating your best life, right? So I teach manifestation very uniquely because I teach it about, most people out there are buying a magic pill idea and they're not understanding true quantum physics, something that I've studied for years. True quantum physics is not trying to control your life and control the universe. It's how do you work in co-creation, in partnership with it, right? And that's what I teach you. So there's lots of trainings in there about how do you manifest? How do you align with your desires? You can only do that really when you've got an open heart, which is why the heart openings and clearings come first. Accelerating manifestations, mastering manifestations, being a great manifester. People do experience lots of change in their life when they put those things into play, right? But the sequence, I don't do manifestation first. Again, people want the quick win, but they don't understand if you're not strong first, energetically, your manifestations are going to be weak. So even if you want to skip ahead and say, well, I just need my heart healed and then I'll be ready to go, the work I give you doesn't take that long to do, right? It deeply heals the root traumas that you already have, right? And it sets you up to win. It sets you up to manifest your best life. I also have a monthly membership which I've just opened called Live Fully Now. Now, Sovereign is $555, right? That's it. You don't have to pay monthly subscription. I'm thinking about whether I should do that, but I'm not doing that at the moment. It's still just one fee, which is extremely low. Probably it will go into to stay in it after, you know, a certain amount of time, a monthly fee. But that's not the case at the moment. Live Fully Now is a monthly membership where we're really mastering manifestations. There's weekly themes. It's $55 a month. It's not the deep work of Sovereign, so don't expect that, but it will keep you plugged in and understanding advanced level manifestations, right? It's not focused on healing so much, Live Fully Now. It's focused on you as the creator and manifester. So any questions, let me know. I'm going to put the links to join in the comments. You can join those 2 programs now. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.